You know, better. No.
So you got to understand that if you gotta have to let some things play out, eventually the guy's not going to buy from at the price anymore, and he's going to come on back because the guy's going to say, "Well, I overpaid on the last property." It's vacant, so I know they would allow us to get in. I'm pretty sure there's been activity at the house.
Yeah.
Crackhead or something, like staying in the bag or something like that.
You can go in the house
From the basement, yeah.
From the doors open.
Oh.
But it's probably
I mean, it's a mess.
It's a mess.
$40,000 to fix it.
I would say it's probably a 60-day rehab, 65, 60, 70-day rehab. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. Period.
Yeah, that's time.
When they said knockdown, that's why I ran over there, because I was like, oh, cool, we can knock this down and build a house. But no, it's worth saving the houses there. Yeah, so I think, like I said, and you might want to have Derek check with Chicago, that they're doing this, once it's advertised for a week, they're going ahead and issuing title insurance, especially on a case that has a will.
Really?
Yeah, they're not waiting the full 90 days anymore.
But, so you can sell?
Yeah, you can move and sell, and they will insure it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for all friends?
I've heard that through some, like in a mastermind, that's what they were telling me, that they're the big insurance.
Check here.
Yeah, just check to see if they're doing that here, but I've heard that it's possible that they're doing it. That was a tip. Anything else? What's up with this Fayetteville guy? Because apparently he sent everybody attached to me the same message.
Oh.
And even as of this weekend, he sent out. He sent to Matt.
He just showed me that, yeah, that was random.
What's his name?
We got the deal on the contract, but
Yeah.
the point is he's still sending something out.
Which
What
one?
did he ask this weekend?
The same message he sent you?
About the...
Unless Matt doesn't know the day he sent it.
He might not know.
Matt didn't respond to my email until days
It
after.
was a Facebook message, not an email.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not gonna read your email.
Yeah, he don't read my email, I paid him.
Yeah, well, as of Friday, he's fine.
Yeah, no, I just want to make sure that Matt, all I'm saying is, what's the status on that? Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to schedule a date where I can fly out there and just check out the house and then come back. You got anything, Francisco? Oh, you got a freaking notepad today?
I just looked at it like, well.
No, we were talking, Matt might have gotten an additional, I don't know if he shared the screenshot with you, but it might be a separate opportunity. Not the same one.
But from a different
But
guy.
in Fayetteville, that's, I think,
Same
right.
guy.
It's the same guy, okay.
Same exact guy.
That is. You
Why
think he would just tell you about
reach
the other
out?
one?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. It's not a new opportunity because I literally have. This is Matt's first question. How much do you pay a bird dog?
Oh my God.
What?
Well, he can't knock him.
So I got a potential deal that needs to be sold, and it's
Yeah. Yep, that's fantastic.
Email.
talks about the heating system recently replaced, $750 rent, a $537 mortgage. It's a good number. Remaining balance of 84. Would like to pay off the remaining balance at $84,000.
It's not 84.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. So it's
No, he says 67. I don't know what he's talking about. Would like to pay off the remaining balance at an $84,000 home value. So that's what we gave him.
That's the same house.
Same
Yeah,
guy.
it is.
And then I sent him a screenshot of the contract, and I was like, "Where about it?" You good?
I'll be there today. Painting.
Got it.
Yeah. It's gonna be better. It's,
I think we go in and do the rehab.
yeah, because it's a nice house. You know? Make it look, make it shine. Yeah.
I think we doing. I think we
Make it
can.
shine.
What's so creative about that?
It's okay. It just has a good
What's his TM
ring.
behind that?
Some things have good ring, and that's one of them. Hey, make it shine. Let's make it shine, guys. Woo-hoo!
If it's dirty, it's not shining.
Okay. Hey, good ring.
All right, make it shine, guys.
All right.
But
That's the word of the week.
But kitchen and bathroom too, right?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
I'm talking about new countertops and stuff. Because it's such a small
Yeah,
kitchen.
exactly.
And the bathroom, he can retile that like that.
Yeah.
Everybody good? All right.
Like a shot.
1, 2, 3. Make it shine.
All right.
Okay.
Really? Is that smooth?
Yeah.
That smooth?
Doesn't move, it's like glass. Because all turbulence is the uprising of heat in the exchange with cool air. Right? So just imagine that. That's what turbulence is. When you fly over, like if you're flying out west and you know a bunch of trees over here,
Okay, and in the morning you don't have that.
you don't have that because it's cool. The
Yeah.
Earth's surfaces are generally all cooled.
It's the sun.
The sun, right? So if you fly in the winter time, it's a much smoother flight as well. Or in the morning time or at nighttime because the Earth's surfaces are evenly cooled essentially. Right? So if you fly out now, it's not going to be that bumpy
Yeah.
until you start going over Haynes Mall and Home Depot parking lot. Because the black tar creates the gradient up, right? So if you ever look at if you ever put your hand over a fire or you can't see, like say the fire is here, but you can't feel it, you just feel the,
Yeah.
that's the heat. That's what heat does.
Yeah.
So, which is not good.
Are those new shades, Francis?
No,
You had those.
I've had these for
About 72 hours.
CVS specials?
no, these no. But no, I bought these like 2 months ago because I lost my other shades.
Oh,
you know,
no.
and I lost that. I was at one house cleaning up, left the shades. I don't know where I left them. I mean, an economy can take you so much.
There has to be a correction.
Everything is propped up on a fake leg right now.
Right, yeah. And that can only be sustained for a little bit. You know, he's saying, oh yeah, but people can't really be evicted. You know, I'm like, well, that has to stop too because, or you have to pay the landlords, give the landlords some money, right? Because they can only take that so much of that also. They've got to pay their mortgages.
How long have people not been paying rent? Do you
It's
think?
been like 4 months.
So that's like 120 days?
Yeah, and not only that, it's not supposed to be, forgiven. So after this, you're gonna have to pay it back,
That's just
right?
this building right here.
Yeah. It's pretty.
2.658. Wow.
That one there? So, how many units do you know?
Says it's 63% occupied. Occupied is 26,000 square feet.
26,000 square feet.
Yeah, so let's look inside. Look at that.
Sick.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Francis.
Would be
Yeah.
something.
Why I got 2 pages?
Okay, so she's paying $500 towards the principal.
Chris Collins sent a check.
There we go.
Francis,
Wear a
get
mask.
one of these masks.
Yeah, give me one.
You look like a
Exactly.
oh my God, you're about to rob a bank or something. Here you go.
Yeah, well, let's find that. Yeah.
What he say? So he looked at it and says, well, there ain't no well there. Does he need anything from us, like a report from? Okay, well we can write that over here. Just who did we write it to? City of Wholesale? Okay, and how much was the check? I'll get that done this morning. I'll send it over there. You know how to play the game. Okay, yeah, I'll meet you out at the property in an hour. Okay, perfect. See ya. I'm flipping rehab properties. Okay, where do you get your properties from? Well, maybe I get them from wholesalers, right? So let's just say that's one person's strategy. Well, if there's less wholesalers going out and aggressively attacking deals because they think COVID affects it, then he's going to have less opportunities to buy properties. If this guy, hold on, just say something, because here's what we do know.
Okay.
We know that the retail market is on fire.
Right.
Okay, so if we know that the retail market is on fire, the flips are on fire, then the equation kind of doesn't say, well, people are.
Retail market is on fire. Flips is not so much on fire because it's more difficult to get a property to flip.
I don't.
There's no foreclosures out there. There's no properties.
I think there's no actual foreclosures that happen. Are happening. I mean, are being executed in the sense that there's the courthouse, the proceedings happening, right? But there is still the same proceedings happening where people are still getting their default notices. The trustees are still filing for foreclosures. That didn't mean they couldn't stop, but it's just that there's not the execution of you must leave the home. Now, here's the reality. Where do we buy most of our foreclosures already? Do we buy them at the courthouse when it's executed? Or do we buy them while somebody's in that transition period when they get the notice? So the transition period is still the same. Yeah. Maybe there's less of people saying, oh, well, I don't have to leave at the end of this month or whatever because there's no execution of the actual foreclosure. But there's foreclosure process is still happening, then you get to the date it's supposed to execute and it stops. But most of our deals have never came from, oh, you know, the foreclosure has been executed. It's been in the process. So what I always like to look at is what are we doing different that we didn't do in the past? Are we aggressively targeting the right people and going after them aggressively? I would say no. Right? Do we have the team necessary in place to do the follow-ups, the calls and all that stuff? I would say no. So all the external factors as far as like this flipper saying he's getting let, because here's the thing, for instance, while we were booming, right? While everything was, when we were getting crazy amount of deals a month, you would say that other people were still saying it's hard for me to find flips. It was hard for you, when I met you, it was hard for you to find flips. Oh, right? Yeah. Because your method of finding flips changed.
Yeah, I didn't have that method.
But your method was MLS and courthouse.
Yeah.
But that changed. So now, then for a period of time, you were sourcing deals strictly from wholesalers, right? So then.
Yeah, I started because it was MLS. Then it went to wholesalers.
So then your deal flow came back up.
I was starting to go buy houses. We buy houses and buy houses from wholesalers.
So your deal flow came back up. Yeah. So the method of where you were sourcing from changed, right? So now you got to understand. Okay, since you moved to wholesalers. Is there less wholesalers?
No, there's many more.
There may be more people saying they're wholesaling, but is there more competent wholesalers?
We already know a few that are very competent, and a few that are they're not necessarily killing it, but they're getting one property here, one property there. They're smart. They're doing some marketing that we know they're doing, and and you're saying we're not being aggressive, I mean, I don't have a lot of friends with properties, but we've called, I mean, we're touching a lot of people because we already called friends that I had with property, and that they say, oh, there's this guy, and I'm like, yeah, I know that guy, All my friends have property, and we have called them, So, and then you say that we don't have follow-up to be able, I mean, the leads we get, we follow it up. I mean, they're not all leads. I mean, I wish we would have some leads today to go.
You can't say that for sure.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Well, what do you mean I can't say that for sure?
You can't say that because we don't have the statistics currently to be able to say what we follow up and follow up on. Now, when we were in controlled in Marshall, you can say that.
No, I believe follow-ups are one of our weak points. You'll be amazed at the amount of deals that we see fly on the market, and it's something that we didn't follow back up on.
Here would be a telltale sign, and this would have to come from the Register of Deeds office. How many real estate transactions have the real estate transactions slow? No, as a real estate from 5 months ago, Has the real estate transaction slowed down, stayed the same, or increased? That's your only true measure, as if there's less homes being sold and traded.
Yeah, there's less. They're like half coming into the market. Pretty sure. I'm gonna check it out again. Remember
So check the MLS data and say, okay, how many houses have been sold compared to not even last year. Let's just go from January. Take a January stat and take a June stat and the July stat and see how many properties were moved. And if the top end retail hasn't moved, then we can't say the trading of homes. Maybe we're just not getting. Here's one thing. Here's a couple places we need to improve on. We need to have somebody or two people who their job is to strictly build relationships with other wholesalers. Period. That's their entire job, is to strictly build relationships with other wholesalers that are actively going out there marketing and going on appointments and doing deals. We've dropped the ball on that. That was the initial intent for Venture Atlas, is that you had a team that can wine and dine your wholesalers to gain the confidence in us that we can buy and pick up properties whenever they bring us that are deals.
Yeah, but let me tell you something about that, because we pursue some of them, okay, and at the end, they're not that interested.
Yeah, they don't want to do
okay, and I'm telling you because I pursue ones that are very effective, that I know are good. And I've talked to them, I've invited them, we even had a couple deals from them, but they go somewhere else. And I'm like, I promise them security, I promise them backing, I promise them whatever. They go to how you call these meetups?
There is no meetup.
No, there is actually. There is, how you call these?
Greensboro's online.
No.
The deal makers?
Virtual.
They're all online.
How you call these things? Where investors get together?
I just told you, the RIA meetup.
A RIA.
I just told you they're doing them virtual.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think you're right. Okay.
I'm right.
I think you're right. But
I know I'm right. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Mm.
If deals are still being traded, that means we have not built the relationship with the wholesalers that satisfy them. Now you may think you've offered them everything that you think they want. We're not gonna put ourselves in a situation where we're paying more money for something that's not worth it.
Right.
Because here's what happens. He's gonna go sell a guy a property for more money. Mm-hmm. The guy's gonna flop on the rehab and he's gonna go away like the reason why I'm saying this, you have to understand, what we did for is unconventional. The money that he made on those deals is unconventional, and it's only because of our expertise and the connections, and that we've been doing this for a long time.
Better.
So you got to understand that if you have to let some things play out, eventually the guy's not going to buy from at the price anymore, and he's going to come on back. Because the guy's gonna say, well, I overpaid on the last property. You gotta understand.
Yeah.
Pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. So what I'm saying is, back to my point, is you have to have people in this company that their sole job is to build relationships with active wholesalers. You can't use the excuse that they're unsatisfied and going somewhere else. You gotta understand.
Figure out what it is.
We're business, right? No, hold on, friends. We're business, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you have a restaurant, mm-hmm. and your restaurant, you're seeing your customers are going to the other barbecue spot, and you have a barbecue spot, mm-hmm. and you gotta say, okay, well, what's the difference? We gotta figure out what's making us less customers come to us and more go across the street. One is our barbecue tastes good. Right? 2, is our barbecue too expensive? Is our customer service when they come and eat barbecue good, or is it not? So you have all these variables that have to go into play, right? So eventually, if they keep going over here and the barbecue's cheap but it makes them sick, what are they gonna do? They're gonna come back, mm-hmm. right? So I think what happens is we don't have the relationships with the active wholesalers that are true wholesalers. that will bring us the deals consistently over and over again. I think that every deal that we've bought from wholesalers, we've been more than fair. Sometimes too fair. Fair in the position where we overpaid for.
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, but this is the thing, okay? This is the thing. That guy could have gotten more for no questions, okay? Now that you want to make 30,000 or 20,000 on it, that's different. But he could have made 10,000. He could have made more money. So let's keep things, you know, let's say how things are. I mean, you know.
I just don't believe that.
And you know, sometimes you have a disconnect from Main Street and Wall Street, and just use the analogy, and to them you're like Wall Street, and you do understand business and you understand the things that come along with it, but they don't really care about that on Main Street. At Main Street, they're just looking at that deal to deal to deal, you know what I'm saying? So I understand what Francis is saying. They might just make 2 deals a year, but they rather that 15,000 each deal.
You see the little one? This is the thing. You're right at one thing, okay? If we had somebody like Lamar, his job was just
to build.
Yeah, because that takes time. Because you know who's gonna bring you the deals? The little guy.
Right.
The little guy, because the one that has gotten traction and is a little more smarter.
I agree.
Yeah, and that's what I've been trying to get, because because I don't have the time to go to the little guys.
We want all the Davids,
Yes.
right? So how do you be in the right place at the right time?
I know you have to use.
It's a numbers game.
Exactly. You have to use all the but if you can't spray yourself thin, or you don't want to spray yourself thin, then you sort of.
We're a 7,500 square foot office.
Yeah,
with unlimited resources when it comes
right.
to spending money on.
You're right.
You're not going to win by spending $10,000 a month. You have to go in
Or you
and
have to
spend.
go all in. Yeah.
Correct. So but you don't say that when you got 9 people in the office every day. Most of us sitting in this room, y'all haven't seen it done the way my vision sees it.
Right.
You haven't seen it done. If we're V6, right? The company's a V6 engine. All of those cylinders need to be working at all time for the engine to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. Period. So you take all these cylinders and you name them as different departments in different places in the company. And if you don't have all cylinders running, you don't got a complete engine. Good morning. You can join this conversation if you want. So if you have all these cylinders moving. Now you may still get to point A to point B, but you didn't get there efficiently. You burned more gas than you were supposed to have. You had misfires on the way. I mean, there's a lot of cars on the road right now running with not all the cylinders. They still get to point A to point B, but it's inefficiently, and it didn't. So it might have taken them an hour. So when you simplify that, what is any other business? What is a jeweler?
True. Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Yeah.
A jeweler
Be there.
advertises to you consistently, or when opportunity presents itself, so that when the time is right and you're ready to buy that wedding ring or that anniversary gift,
You go over there.
you go over there.
You remember that.
What is a restaurant? They continue to advertise to you in places where people are, that when you get hungry, you think of going over there. Right? So if an insurance company can see that you bought a new car, wouldn't they throw ads at you to see if you should get a new quote on a rate? Right?
Yeah.
So you have to think of this business just like any other business.
Yeah.
So when it's not difficult, the matters of figuring out, can we close, is it sellable, that's not our problems. This is the legal side. We need to get in front of people that here's all it is. Life happens. And when life happens, there's events that create an opportunity or a situation where you need to sell your house for fast. That's it, right? So when you figure out that, wait, you mean so all this wholesaling, all this buying real estate, all this flipping is essentially just getting in front of people at the right time? When you think of that in a very simple way, then that's easy. So you say, okay, what life events happen that where we need to be in front of somebody at the time that life event happens to where there's a percentage chance, let's just say it's only 5%, that 5 out of every 100 people that go through this life event will execute and will inquire. People go through a divorce. 100 people go through a divorce. Only 5 of them may have to sell their property. But you got to advertise to all 100.
Yeah.
Somebody passes away. A probate starts. Maybe only 5 of them want to sell their property in the next year. 3 months, 6 months. You get what I'm saying? So you have to be the opportunity. For example, if you move addresses, if you change your address with the postal service into a new house, what do you start getting in the mail? You guys are all moved. What do you start to get in the mail?
Yeah,
Cable, internet,
cable.
phone,
AT&T is going to send you something. Spectrum's going to send you something.
security.
ADT is going to send you something. Why do they send you something? Because the life event happened where you moved the house, where you know you're going to have to make a decision. Do you stay with the cable? Do you get new cable? Do you have security at your front door? So when you think about it in that simplistic, that's all it is. We ain't signed this here. So everybody has to be thinking with that same, when they cross that threshold in the morning, or when they go home at night, they got to understand. The reason why we say, hey, look at abandoned houses, because abandoned houses trigger that somebody may be interested in selling. May be interested in selling. Why do we look at tall grass? Because tall grass shows a sign of negligence to the property. And if somebody doesn't cut the grass, that typically means, wait, they might not be interested or care about the property. It's an opportunity. Now, out of 100 tall grasses, maybe only 5 of them want to sell. Somebody lawnmower could be broke. Somebody could be 73-year-old and they lawn guy went AWOL. Somebody could be on vacation for 3 months and they forgot to schedule it. But then you have those 5 that really just inherited a home and the caretaker, they're no longer cutting the grass. Or they fell behind on the mortgage and they just got up and left. Or the landlord got old and the tenants moved out and he didn't get by the house to cut the grass. So those are just the opportunities that happen that you got to be in front of those people. And all people do is they systematize the opportunity, they identify the opportunity and systematize the marketing so that you get in front of the people at the right time. That's all businesses are. That's it. If you register for a new gun license, somebody's probably gonna send you something in the mail to say, are you interested in buying a new gun?